Welcome to This Explainer. I'm really glad you're here with us today. Look, if you've been dreaming about starting your own business, but you're just sitting there feeling completely overwhelmed by where to even begin, or stressing out about how much cash it's going to take, you are in exactly the right place. Today, I'm going to put on my mentor hat and walk you through something we call the 500K BDT Blueprint. We're going to completely demystify the whole startup process in Bangladesh and show you how launching a business smartly and efficiently is entirely within your reach. All right, let's just dive right in, shall we? I hear this literally all the time from bright, really ambitious young people. They say, I need crores of taka to start a successful business. It is the biggest myth out there. And honestly, it's the #1 limiting belief that holds future entrepreneurs back from ever taking that crucial first step. You look at these massive factories or those huge tech unicorns, and you kind of mistakenly think that's what day one has to look like. Well, I'm here to tell you, it really doesn't. The myth tells us we need massive, overwhelming capital. But the reality check? Highly profitable, rapidly growing businesses can absolutely be established for under 500,000 Bangladeshi taka. Let me let you in on a little secret. Execution and proper planning beat a giant bank account every single time. Seriously, if you have the right blueprint, starting with a moderate budget is actually a huge advantage. It forces you to be scrappy, agile, and incredibly smart with your resources. So moving on to Section 1, the blueprint, high return opportunities. Let's get specific about what I mean by being resourceful. Think of the options available to you right now as a sort of treasure map for your future. You could launch a digital marketing agency or a website development firm for just 100,000 taka, which is totally driven by this massive demand for online presence right now. What about business consultancy? Also just 100,000, driven by those incredible knowledge-based profit margins. Or you could launch a cloud kitchen for around 300,000 taka, riding the huge wave of urban food delivery. These are super achievable entry points. Let's break a couple of these down a bit more, starting with the digital space. Right now, every single business out there needs an online presence. They need SEO, they need Facebook ads, they need a slick professional website. And the real beauty of this model? All you really need to get the ball rolling is a decent laptop and a reliable Wi-Fi connection. With an initial investment of 100 to 500,000 taka, you can build something that scales from just one local client to literally hundreds of clients all over the globe. It's the absolute perfect low-overhead, high-demand entry point for tech-savvy beginners. But hey, what if your strengths are a bit more strategic? That's where business consultancy comes in. Small and medium enterprises are practically begging for help with business planning, market research, and digital strategy. For you, this means high profit margins and extremely low operational costs. Why? Because you're monetizing your brain power. You're not storing physical stuff in a warehouse, you're selling your expertise. The investment range is about the same, but the return on your intellectual capital can be absolutely massive. Now let's switch gears and talk about something totally different. Food. Everyone wants to get into the food business, right? But traditional restaurants are insanely expensive to launch. And this brilliantly illustrates the power of the cloud kitchen. By focusing solely on delivery, you completely chop out that crazy dining overhead. No fancy seating, no huge waitstaff to pay. You just target a really profitable specialty niche, like a dedicated healthy food menu or premium biryani. Starting at just 300,000 taka, you cut out the traditional expensive parts of the business, so you can launch lean and fast. All right, moving on to Section 2, the validation checklist. So we've looked at what to build. Now, as your mentor here, I want us to transition to the most critical part, how to build it safely. You're probably thinking to yourself right now, okay, these sound like great ideas, but how do I actually know if my specific idea will work in the real world? Let me assure you that is a totally natural anxiety. Every founder feels it before they launch. You don't want to just guess with your hard-earned savings. You need a solid framework to test it out first. To build up your confidence, here is a rock-solid 6-step validation framework pulled straight from our source material. Step 1, verify market demand. Like, do people actually need this? Step 2, check your investment capacity. Can you comfortably afford to start? Step 3, study the competition. Step 4, calculate realistic profitability. Step 5, assess scalability. And finally, Step 6, understand the risk levels. Think of this market validation process like testing the water with one toe before doing a belly flop into the deep end. These steps are your safety net. Which brings us to Section 3, startup traps to avoid. Knowing where the potholes are on this journey is just as crucial as knowing your destination. Keep this in the back of your mind. Most businesses don't fail because the initial idea was a dud. They fail from poor execution. I'm talking about starting without market research, ignoring what your customers are telling you, poor financial management, expanding way too fast, or just hiring the wrong team.
Falling into these traps is like trying to run a full marathon when you haven't even jogged around the block yet. You gotta pace yourself and manage your resources with absolute iron discipline.
The absolute biggest mistake you can make? Going all in and over-investing right out of the gate. The smart move is starting strictly within your financial capability. Let me give you a really simple analogy. Imagine you need to make your first few local deliveries for your new business. You don't go to the bank, take out a massive loan, and buy a heavy-duty 18-wheeler, right? No, you start with a simple bicycle. You prove the concept, you generate some actual revenue, and then you upgrade. Always start lean. And always remember, today's scrappy little startup can totally become tomorrow's industry giant. The most successful entrepreneurs out there, they aren't usually the ones who started with the biggest bank accounts. They're the ones who solved real problems, executed consistently, and committed to getting a little bit better every single day. That continuous, smart execution is the real secret sauce here.
Finally, section 4, the big picture. Let's zoom out for a second. We've talked a lot about the micro stuff, your specific blueprint, your checklist. Now I want to show you the massive scale of the playing field you're about to step onto. 170 million. That's the population of Bangladesh. That is a massive, incredibly dense consumer market just waiting for your solutions. It's an absolutely staggering number when you really visualize it, and it just proves how vast the consumer base is for whatever smart, lean business you decide to launch. And it's not just the sheer head count, it's the whole direction the economy is moving. We're seeing some incredible economic tailwinds right now. We've got rapid digital transformation, a fast expanding middle class that's hungry for better products and services, rising disposable income, and strong government support for entrepreneurship. The economic winds are literally blowing right at your back, creating a window of opportunity that we've honestly rarely seen before. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. You've seen the data. You literally have a 500K blueprint sitting right in your hands. You know exactly how to validate your idea, and you know exactly which traps to dodge. Plus, you have a market of 170 million people with incredible economic tailwinds pushing you forward. So, with all of this waiting for you, what exactly are you waiting for? The blueprint is yours. It is time to step out of the planning phase and into action.